It's Mark here from Consultancy. I'm down at the gym with Tony Pill, and we're going to talk about some boxing questions. Let's roll into it?
Yeah.
Oh, fine. All right, so first one, Tony. Nice to meet you again.
Yeah,
nice
you too, mate. You too.
How do you choose the boxers that you manage?
It's a good question, really, because I don't really know. Like, I think we've got a lot of boxers, and over the years, I've kind of thought about what the process is into kind of what we're looking for. Obviously, they've got to be good. They've got to have a good amateur background. You've got to try and think of where you can take them and can you help with that. Sometimes the boxer might not fit you. They might be really good, but they might not fit what we do, and vice versa. But I think I've got to think that they're good enough, that I can take them to a certain place, and then the other thing is I've got to get on with them.
Yeah,
I've got
of course.
to kind of like it. Do you mean like so?
Do you find them or they find you?
To be honest, mostly they find us. Like, we're quite fortunate like that. Do you mean like I've never really gone out my way to search for a boxer. There has been a few, but where we've got a nice gym and a good setup, they seem to kind of gravitate towards us. Like.
Fine. And you'll plan out career progression, how you see it. You even told us when I first met you in Poland, you was telling us about roots and.
Yeah. So like you've got to try and think. Going back to the first question, which was like you go, well, when you're taking on a boxer, and like you think, well, what can I do for you? So for example, we've had some foreign boxers who have approached us, and you go, you're really good, huh? But I don't think I can do much with you because I can't find a route for you, like for whatever reason that might be.
Or trying to find them fights?
Trying to find them fights or find a route. So you're looking, a boxer comes in, you go, right, what's the route? What are we going to do? Or what can we plan out or map out? And you, sometimes it's quite clear, like, doing that, and quite easy-ish, like, and sometimes it's not. But yeah.
Yeah, nice, okay. And then in terms of trying to get fights for boxers, you told us how difficult it is. It's a proper game.
It's a proper game, right? It's a proper game, absolutely. Like it's not like football or what I can see in any other sport where there's tournaments or there's a league where there's fixtures that come out and you've got to box this guy, this guy, this guy. And I would like that to be because then you're active and, well, I wouldn't probably have much of a job as a manager then, but the main role is to make fights, like, so you've got to try and, so you think that boxing is ruled by rankings really, so the job is to try and progress through the rankings and find the right fights for the right boxers and convince those boxers to fight you, do you mean? Like,
but popularity and online presence and that also counts, even at that level for fights, 100%,
right? Like, all levels, like, I think any promoter that you try and make a fight and then pitch it to a promoter, they just want to know how many views they're going to get, and that's a lot of time dictated by their social media presence. Like,
when have you seen that come in? How long has it been like that?
For a long time. Like, I think that's been...
Even when you was boxing?
No, I think like, so the first thing is, and it still is, ticket sales. Like, how many tickets can that person sell? Like, so it doesn't matter if you're boxing on a Sky Sports show or a small hall show. The first thing the promoter's going to say is, how many tickets can you sell? So that's always been since day dot. Like, so now it's definitely evolved into like how much presence on social media you've got. I think that's been probably for the last 6, 7, 8 years or so.
Right, okay. Do you get involved in that side with them? Do you have any advice?
I try. Like, funny enough, I'm actually meeting with a guy tomorrow, and he's going to help us with that. I do try and help, but it's not my field. Actually, but yeah, they social media and having a good presence and being active, and getting people to know who you are is crucial. But again, it's not like any other sport. You don't see tennis players running around trying to create a social media presence to try and get into the next tournament. You don't see footballers doing it. That just naturally occurs. With boxers, they have to sell themselves up. They have to become popular.
Yeah. And do you get involved with the people around them, if it's accountants or?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you advise on that kind of stuff? Would they look to a manager for that?
Yeah, I think, or
family members?
I'm a coach and manager.
Yeah, of course.
So as a manager, you try to, obviously I'm working out their contracts, making sure they're getting paid the right amount of money, making sure everything's good, make sure we get everything's above board and whatnot. And then on the side of that, you're trying to make sure that they're giving them advice on accountancy and tax and
Sponsorship? Do you?
sponsorship's probably the thing. Probably the thing I'm involved with the most.
Okay.
Sponsorship, I think, is what keeps us afloat, really. Because the other thing is with boxing, you're getting paid when you fight. Again, it's not like fixtures where you know what tournaments you're going to, or whatever. Yeah. You try and fight as regularly as you can because then you're getting paid regularly. But then there might be an occasion where you might not fight for 6 months.
Yeah, of
So
course.
in that lull of 6 months, the boxer needs they need sponsorship to kind of keep them through that period. And as a whole, as a gym, as everything, the sponsorship is probably just as important as our purses.
How difficult is it to? I guess it goes back to the social media and stuff like that.
Difficult, you got a lot of sponsors out there that will swap goods like gloves and equipment and services or whatnot for sponsorship, which is great, but finance is hard. It's not easy. It's not. They want a return of maybe a boxer that's got 50,000 followers. Maybe the boxer's only got 5,000 followers, and they're saying, well, it does. So it can be tricky. It's not the easiest thing to find.
Yeah, no, nice. And maintaining a good working relationship with boxers. Difficult, especially during losses. It must be.
It's hard.
Must be hard.
I think because I'm a coach as well. Don't get me wrong. I manage boxers that I don't coach as well. When you're a coach, you're very close to them. You're with them every day. We're very tight. They're around my house. I make them dinner. They know my family. So it's always been good. Sometimes when you're just managing them, it's different. The dynamic is different. So it can get a little bit fractious sometimes if you're not producing or not getting them the fights they want. Or
do you coach and manage all of your people?
So all the guys I coach, I manage as well.
Fine, okay. That's common, right? That's
not necessarily. Not really. No. I don't know what the proportions are, but no, not really. A lot of the time the coaches don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. But I decided a few years back that I wanted to do it. I'd rather do it. It's hard. It's not easy because the workload's high because I'm in the gym all day coaching them, but I'm also trying to make fights, do deals and whatnot as well. So, but I'd rather be in control of that. I just saw it as I didn't want. Although we do work with other managers, I don't want an external guy dictating to us or telling us or who we should be fighting when I thought we could do that as a team collectively.
Because you have to have a manager, right? Pro boxers.
So pro boxer
legally, right?
A pro boxer has to have a manager. That's right. Yeah. Up to a certain point now. I think it's after a certain period. I think if you've been a pro, I'm not sure. It's over 3 or 5 years or a certain period of time. Yeah. They can then manage themselves. It's not advisable because you need. It's like doing your own accounts. It's better to have someone who knows what they're doing and have people in place doing that for you. But 99% of boxers have their own as a manager. Yeah.
How do you see British boxing? Is it still on the up?
Yeah.
It's massive, right? I mean,
I think it's
popularity is through the roof.
Boxing in this country has always been big. Yeah. I think if the best way to assess how big boxing is amateur boxing really, and you go, well, we've got such deep-rooted love for boxing, and so especially in the cities, so you go to London, Manchester, Liverpool, you find there was dozens and dozens and dozens of amateur clubs producing national champions, and you go, well, that's it. You got kids from and that goes back years and years and years and years. So the love for boxing has always been there. I think we're probably the most passionate fans out there for boxing. But on the top end of it, your AJs, your Furies and whatnot, because of those two in particular, popularity in boxing is been for the last, whatever it is, 6, 7, 8 years or 10 years or so, it's been huge. I think with Saudis and whatnot, most of them are British fighters fighting. These guys, British boxing's massive.
And the plans for you? Are you going to take on more boxers, or are you at that limit? Or
I think, again, going back to the first question, which was how do you take on a boxer? Well, at the moment, not that I'm being selective. Well, we are, I guess. We want particular boxers. So we want guys who are. We've always said we want boxers that are got the potential and to win British titles and beyond. And that's still the case, but we're looking. I'd still sign a couple more boxers, but they have to be, like I said, a particular kind of boxer. So we're fortunate, because we've got some good boxers in the gym. We attract loads of fighters, but you have to be selective on who you take on, like,
course,
if you want to keep the standard high. So.
Cool.
I've spiced them up a little bit. I've got to.